Welcome to Horror Shadows, where the darkest corners of the world come to life. I'm your host, and tonight we're exploring the creepiest true stories from abandoned places, haunting tales of forgotten buildings and the terrors they hide. These stories were sent in by viewers like you. Turn off the lights, grab your headphones, and let's step into the shadows. This first story comes from Jake, a 24-year-old from Pennsylvania, who stumbled into an abandoned hospital with a past that refused to stay buried. In 2021, Jake and his friends were urban exploring in an old psychiatric hospital, shuttered since the 1980s. The place was a maze of peeling paint, shattered glass, and rusted medical equipment. At midnight, they reached the basement where the air felt heavy, like it was pressing against their skin. Jake noticed a faint humming, like a machine still running. His friends laughed it off, but he followed the sound to a locked door marked morgue. As he pressed his ear to the door, the humming stopped. Then, a low, guttural voice whispered his name, Jake. From inside, his blood froze. He backed away, but the door began to rattle, as if something was slamming against it. His friends heard it too, and bolted upstairs. Jake followed, but as he ran, he swore he saw a figure in a tattered hospital gown at the end of the hall, its face blurred and wrong, like it was stitched together from shadows. They escaped, but Jake later learned the hospital had a history of experimental treatments and patients who vanished without a trace. To this day, he hears that guttural whisper in his nightmares, calling his name. This next story was sent by Maria, a 30-year-old from Michigan, who worked security near an old factory that hadn't operated in decades, or so she thought. In 2023, Maria took a night shift patrolling an industrial park. The abandoned factory nearby was off limits, but one night, she saw a flickering light inside, like someone waving a flashlight. Thinking it was vandals, she approached, the radio crackling with static. The factory's windows were boarded, but the side door was ajar, creaking in the wind. Inside, the air was thick with dust and the smell of oil. The light flickered again, deeper in the factory. Maria followed it, her flashlight catching glimpses of rusted machines. Then she heard it, a rhythmic tapping like someone hammering metal. She called out, but no one answered. The tapping led her to a massive machine where a figure stood, hunched and motionless, holding a hammer. Its clothes were ancient, covered in grease, and its head was turned away. Maria shouted again, but the figure didn't move. Her flashlight flickered, and in that split second, the figure was gone. The tapping stopped, replaced by a low, rasping laugh that echoed through the factory. Maria ran, never looking back. The next day, she learned the factory's last worker had died in a machine accident 40 years ago, and locals still reported hearing his hammer at night. Our final story comes from Ethan, a 19-year-old from Oregon, who found an abandoned house that wasn't as empty as it seemed. In 2024, Ethan was hiking in a remote forest when he stumbled across a dilapidated house, its windows boarded and roof caving in. Curiosity got the better of him, and he slipped inside through a broken door. The air was stale, and the floor was littered with old photographs, their faces scratched out. As he explored, he felt a growing unease, like eyes watching him from the dark. In the upstairs bedroom, he found a child's rocking horse, moving slightly as if someone had just touched it. Then from the closet came a soft scratching, like nails on wood. Ethan froze. The scratching grew louder, faster, until the closet door began to shake. He backed away, but the air turned icy, and a child's voice whispered, "Don't leave me." The rocking horse lurched forward, and the closet door flew open, revealing nothing but darkness. Ethan ran, tripping down the stairs and out of the house. When he looked back, a small, pale figure stood in the upstairs window, staring at him with empty eyes. He later learned the house was abandoned after a family disappeared in the 1970s. Hikers still avoid it, claiming they hear scratching and whispers in the woods. That's all for tonight's terrifying tales from abandoned places. If these stories chilled you to the bone, smash that like button and subscribe to Horror Shadows for more true horror stories every week. Stay safe and avoid abandoned buildings.